After months of waiting, the Casters Cup is finally happening. Are you watching? Hey everyone, I'm TheOneEyedCrow, and we're back for another MetaZoo Weekly update for May 22nd to May 29th. And while the Casters Cup is finally happening, I would like to cover the weekly news before we talk about that. I'd also like to remind everybody that at 500 subscribers, we're doing another giveaway, and it's going to be for a Nightfall spellbook. And if we can hit that by the end of Tuesday, by the end of May, I'm going to throw in something extra special. So there's a few days to help us get to 500, and right now we're only 13 subscribers away. So on May 22nd, we finally had a MetaZoo Hour, and this is after over 2 weeks without one. And as usual, I'll intersperse some of the relevant questions with the weekly news, and then we'll cover the rest at the end of the video. So alongside the announcement of the MetaZoo Hour starting, we got to look at a pixelated Sinkhole Sam. And this is a very obvious reference to an old mobile game called Snake. Now, Snake, for those of you who haven't played it, is essentially you start out as a small snake, you need to navigate around to eat some dots. If you eat yourself, you lose. And in this image, the dot that the snake or Sinkhole Sam is going after is a cryptid nation symbol, and it's very similar looking to the dice that they announced for the Casters Cup. Shortly after that, they reiterated that nobody should be pre-ordering UFO at this time. So if you're seeing pre-orders go up, be weary. And that doesn't mean that all pre-orders you might see right now are fake. It just means that people don't really know what their allocations are yet. So it's not safe to pre-order. But really just be patient. You will get your UFO, even if you have to wait a little bit. And with some of the rules, which we'll get into a little bit on the partnerships and LGSs that are working to have allocation for UFO, you're not going to miss out on any price points, and we'll get into that. Also on May 22nd, we got to look at what looks to be some form of cloth bag or something made of cloth with the MetaZoo symbol and a holofoil nightfall pattern. And we know it's nightfall because you can see the spider webs that are in there. And this is a prototype, so it's possible that the prototype came out when they were actually making nightfall, so they went with that holofoil pattern. So it might not specifically be related to nightfall. It could be something else. We're going to have to see what that is. But it's definitely something cloth related. It could be, maybe a drawstring bag or something like a dice bag now that there's dice. We're going to have to wait and find out. And honestly, I'm hoping it's boxers with the symbol right in the back there. Let that sink in for a second. I'll wait. All right, moving on. May 23rd was Andy Murat's birthday. He turned 40, and I was going to prepare an old joke, but honestly, I'm at that age where 40 isn't too far away, and that scares the crap out of me, so I'm going to leave that one alone. Also on May 23rd, it was announced that MetaZoo is coming out with a plushie line, and this is going to consist of 20 beasties. The line will range across Cryptid Nation, Nightfall, Wilderness, and UFO. MetaZoo is doing these plushies directly because apparently it's hard to actually find a plushie distributor that will work with them right now. It's a very tight-knit group, but they're working on that for the future. So there's only going to be 250 of each of the 20 plushies. And given that UFO is included, I imagine that we're going to see this in August at the earliest, considering that's around the time that UFO comes out. So please drop a comment below what plushies that you would like to see in this set, if at all. I know I'm excited for a few, specifically Nightfall is my favorite set, so I'm hoping for some of my favorites from there. A Nightfall Bunnyman would be my absolute favorite. Later that day on the 23rd, we got to look at a new Snipe card, and the artwork on this is very digital. It's very similar to the Sinkhole Sam that we saw earlier, and there's no promo logo like we see on the Revive or the Walmart promos or anything like that, so there's no telling right now what this is a part of. This could be part of the June 10th drop that we don't really know much about yet, or it could be part of something else. So I'm really curious to see what this could be a part of, given the Sinkhole Sam reference to Snake. I'm hoping it's something to do with maybe some time-wasting mobile games that they might be putting out, arcade-style games that, we can really just sink some time into while we wait for more MetaZoo. On May 24th, it was announced that the LGS kits that they put out last week are going to be given out for free to the people that signed up for them. So instead of having to pay $1,000 for these LGS kits with Wilderness product in them, these LGSs are going to get all of that product for free. Now, the LGS kits sold out pretty quickly in under 4 days, and about 80% of the stores that signed up for LGS kits were completely new to MetaZoo. And they also announced that they're expecting a shipping date of these of June. May 24th was also the last day to sign up for the MetaZoo Partnership Program. So this was a great reminder to revisit the rules that MetaZoo had laid down for LGSs to become partners. As part of this program, LGSs will get 2 LGS kits for free if they're a partner. They'll also be getting a partner promo and access to special releases such as the Magicast boxes or the fan art blister packs. So this provides them a way to actually get that allocation of these special events that are selling out in literally 30 seconds. Partners need to be active in the community, and you'll understand that the people that were announced to be partners are pretty active community members, so we'll get into that. And this is also a reminder that MetaZoo has some pretty strict pricing rules going out with UFO. For the week before and 2 weeks after the release, you cannot sell for below MSRP. So we're not going to be seeing booster boxes and spell books continually being undercut by competitors to get it down to that $90 to $100 range that we've seen with previous releases. And as part of this, with the map rules, you can't sell for below 80% of MSRP, which means that a booster box will never be below $112. So if you usually wait for the bottom price point to get into MetaZoo, don't wait too long because it really can't drop below 80% of MSRP. If a store were to do that, that got distribution of UFO, sure, they could get rid of their UFO products, but they'd be banned from future distributions. And they also wanted to point out that these prices can't be circumvented with bundle deals. So even when you see a bundle on a website, they're actually going to be at MSRP. And the trick around that, from what I can tell, is going to be offering add-ons, promo cards, playmats, stickers, magnets, things that add value that the LGS can give for free to then make you want to actually purchase their bundle over somebody else's. So I think this is going to be a very interesting release where we're going to see value-added items added to these bundles to entice people to purchase them. And we as the community can gripe about these pricing rules, but at the end of the day, it's basically to help with competitive pricing and the issues that that causes, and it helps ensure that the value of MetaZoo products remains stable early on. Also, as part of those partnership rules, brick and mortar stores can't sell more than 20% of their allocation online. And if you're an online-only retailer, if you're a partner, you can't actually sell the product on your online marketplace. You need to lock it behind a membership program such as Patreon. And those of you familiar with Rudy or Alpha Investments know exactly what this looks like. You need to be a patron of his. He has special deals, weekly special sales that go up, and you need to be quick to get on the drop of those. And if you agree to be a partner, you also need to agree to buy a lot of allocation up front. You can buy a max of 500 of each SKU, but you're required to get at least 25% of that, or 125 of each SKU at a minimum. So to be a partner, you're committing to a lot up front that some of the smaller retailers or smaller LGSs may not want to do. So partners were also announced this week, and there's a good list of them that'll now rattle off. We have the Shop Collectibles, A Hidden Fortress, Cognizant Card Breaks, Kitchen Table TCG, TCG Labs, the Cryptozoology and Paranormal Museum, Pokeseller, Direct Damage Games, Cardboardia, Drewby Collectibles, Aloha Card Shop, the Local Game Store, Dungeons and Joypads, which is actually in Europe, Trading Card Vault, Southern Heat Collectibles, SJC Collectibles, who I recognize from Whatnot, Windy City Pop Shop, Caster Society, Compet Esports, The PokeZoo, Sneakouts, Dueling Bros, Argos Anonymous, obviously, Cards to Go TCG, and Trading Card World. And something interesting about the Argos Anonymous announcement, Mike actually said, Secret Rare. On May 24th, we got a look at all 5 of the jerseys that are at Collecticon Dallas. And for those jerseys, we have Gumbaroo with the rope rights, we have Mothman, we have Loveland Frogman, Nappa Rebobs, and Quetzalcoatlus. And I don't know about you, but my favorite one here is actually the Loveland Frogman Smoky Spirits jersey. After that, on May 24th, we got an update saying it has begun. And the image here is of an uncut sheet of cards, and given the time frame, I'd imagine that this means that UFO is officially coming off the printer. So in this image, we can see the Cosmic Aura, we can see the Dark Aura, we can see Meteor Shower, and a couple other cards from the UFO set. They look like they're non-holo, so it's probably some of the higher number cards in the set. We also got a look at the Kickstarter promo boxes later that day, which is exciting because that means that the Kickstarter boxes are coming off the press. I have 2 of these coming myself, so I can't wait for these to get here. I did get the gilding, so I'm going to be much farther delayed than everyone else, but I'm really excited to see what's in these promo boxes. On May 24th, we got this beautiful image, and it was previously teased that MetaZoo would be working with Flork on a t-shirt run, so I expect that we're going to get an official announcement on this soon. On Facebook on the 24th, we got a look at this PFP NFT, and honestly, I don't know if I'm going to participate in the PFP NFTs, and that's not because I don't want to, because if I have the option, I would love to have this one, but I'm not sure at this time what the public sale is going to look like, given that all current NFT holders get one of these for free, because who doesn't want a aviator wearing mustachioed Loveland Frogman as their profile picture? And it's yet to be seen what the utility of this NFT drop is going to be, but it is confirmed that they will have a utility and that it's going to be something that's never been seen in the crypto or the NFT world before. The next day on the 25th on Facebook, we got a look at the Casters Cup Playmats that are being distributed to all casters. So these are what you actually have been seeing in the live stream if you've been watching it. They're the pink playmats. Also on the 25th, the Pseudo Environments started showing up in Dallas. And we know of 3 of these so far. We've seen the Dockhouse, which I'm assuming is going to be related to a lake. So we'll probably have a Lake Terra in effect at that time. I'm not sure what else for that one for the fourth wall effects or other terrors that might be in play. There's the Volcano that we've seen, which obviously is going to be mountains and things related to volcano and heat and all of that. And announced on the Twitch stream yesterday was the Swampy Farmhouse, which is going to have swamp, farm, trees, and a couple other things that they mentioned there. I don't remember off the top of my head what those are, but I'm really excited to see what the rest of the Blitz Pseudo Environments are going to be. I'm hoping to get this video out at normal time, which will be before the Blitz, so hopefully we all find out together today. And if you're playing at the Casters Cup this weekend and you haven't checked your badge yet, check your badge. If it says player, you actually have an error badge. All the badges were supposed to say casters, and if you're there, you probably know this by now. So if you're one of the lucky ones that got a player badge instead of a caster's badge, congratulations, you have an error badge. And if you remember those wilderness binders that dropped last week, there's actually a fulfillment error that happened with those as people are getting them this week. There was a mistake where instead of release event medals being included in some of the boxes, the New Zealand ambassador card for Manaya was included instead. I did open my binder and I was not one of the lucky ones. And if we look at eBay, we can see that these are being listed for $1,000 to $2,000. And I'm not sure if anyone's actually paying that much money for these yet. I would just honestly wait at this point and see what the rollout is going to look like. But they are out there in the wild. If you are one of the lucky ones that got the Manaya, reach out to support if you didn't get your release event medal and they will send you that. You get to keep the Manaya as a wonderful gift. And there were a few things to cover from the MetaZoo Hour this week, and one of which is that the fan art contest has been extended until June 15th, and this was to allow room for people that wanted to go to the Casters Cup or watch the Casters Cup and not be distracted by that. There was another question asking if there was going to be any mini sets between Wilderness and UFO, and that's when Mike had confirmed that June 10th there will be a mini set. Regarding the eBay boxes, it was asked if things were smooth sailing to ship at the end of June, and Mike's response was way sooner, and we have already seen that these have been boxed up, so it's really no surprise that we're going to be getting these sooner rather than later. There was another question about how the MetaZoo show timeline is looking, and actually it seems to be sooner than we think, and it looks like they're shooting for winter of this year. So I don't know about you, this is something that I'm excited for. If it's going to be anything like the illustrated novels that they've put out, it's going to be a pretty epic show. And the last thing that I pulled out from the MetaZoo Hour that I thought was important that you know is that UFO will not be having code cards. It seems that things are a bit behind schedule with that whole side of things, so it doesn't make sense for UFO to have these cards. So this also likely means that they're delaying the release of the online MetaZoo game. And if you're new to MetaZoo and don't know what I mean by that, they're basically working on a Pokemon Online style game for MetaZoo. So you can go on, you'll have code cards to redeem packs online, and then you'll play the game as normal. All right, so we're on to the Casters Cup, and if you're at Dallas-Fort Worth, I'll just say I am jealous. I wish I was there with you. And whether you're playing in the tournament or not, I hope you're having a great time. I hope you're getting all the promos you want to be getting, the signatures, etc. And I can't wait to hear the stories in the Discords over the coming days. So at the time that I'm recording this, day 1 of the Casters Cup has been completed. And I will say that I was following the Casters Corner Immortal Workshop team throughout the day and was really happy to see the number of games that they were winning and how they were doing. Unfortunately, it does not look like they made the top 32, and that team was Matt Katrupi, Bobby Duarte, Jonathan Lauder, Paul Figa, and Zachary Joy. Great job, guys. I know you did your best, and I hope you had a great time while you were there. So as I'm recording this, I will say that the placings look like they are still being updated, so I'm not going to go into the whole top 32, but I'll go into the top 10 because I imagine that people aren't going to be dropping that much from the top 10. And the top 3 right now are Zane Hill, Jonathan Eiler, and Ricky Tovar, who all have perfect scores. They all won 2 rounds in each match and have match points of 18, which is the top score. In 4th through 6th currently, we have Luis Perez, Francisco Desario, and Edward Chalupa? Chalupa? Like the food? Anyway, they all have match points of 16 points and only lost 1 game in 1 round. And then in 7th through 10th with 15 match points, we have Sean Sanchez, Sean McKelvey, Dagan White, and Dominic Pace. So I look forward to the Blitz tournament. I think it's going to be a game changer. I think it's specifically going to be really interesting to see the pseudo environments and how players have to adapt their gameplay to the terrors and fourth wall effects of those pseudo environments. So going into day 2, you might not be playing with cards or a deck that you're used to playing with or that you have practiced over and over and over again. You're going to have to adapt to the pseudo environment and really get outside your comfort zone in decks that you really normally wouldn't play. And yes, there are some players out there that like to switch up their decks, try different aura types, really play with the mechanics, but the majority of the people I know, they typically find an aura type or 2 and stick with those because they like them. They like the mechanics of that aura type. So again, I'd just like to say congratulations to those of you who made it to the top 32. I think that is an amazing feat, and I look forward to finding out tomorrow who's going to be taking home that $100,000 prize. Well, that's all I had to cover for this week. If you're at Dallas-Fort Worth and you have a story you want to share, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what's been going on there and live vicariously through you because I can't be there. So thank you for watching this week's update, and I'll catch you in the next one. And I know it's been a light week. I'm hoping that this coming week is a bit more eventful, that I'll be able to get some more videos out. I did get this welcome video out to satiate YouTube, and then here's last week's update, which was interesting, still relevant. Check that out if you haven't already.